What is going on, everybody? My name is Ty, and welcome back to Tyler Nelson Builds. Don't worry, I'm not here to tell you that we're going to be working on this snowmobile again. Shameless plug, if you haven't seen that build series, I'll leave a link in the description for that. If you're into power sports, I think you'd really enjoy it. But no, today we're back on the 20 valve 1.8 turbo engine we've been building. I just needed something to catch your guys' attention at the beginning of this video. As promised, it is finally time to put this engine all back together. It's build day, baby. So kick back, relax, grab yourself a bag of Miss Vicky's salt and vinegar chips because I have a banger for y'all today. As you can see, I've laid out all of the parts that we need to build this engine up. But before we start getting after it, we do have to get our engine block here back up on the engine stand. And just like that, our engine block is on the stand. Let's go ahead and remove some of this tape and start building her up. So I think the plan is to start with the bottom stuff. So we're gonna flip this baby over, get the crankshaft in it, and then we can go ahead and put the front and rear main seals on, and then the oil pan can go on. And that's just gonna be easier because then we don't have a big head on here when we go to flip it over later. So now is probably the time to give you guys another disclaimer for those of you who haven't been following this series. If you haven't seen the other videos in the build series, first of all, I'll leave a link in the description down below to the playlist for this build series. If you don't know ball, this thing is a mock-up engine. It's never gonna go into a car again. It's never going to run again. It's strictly for R&D and testing purposes. And that's why we're gonna do things such as use brake grease to lubricate a couple of the main journals where this crankshaft is going into. All right, next on the list is the front crank seal. That is this guy right here. Although this motor is never gonna run again, I do want it to be completely sealed up from the outside air, moisture, etc. As we don't want this thing kind of rusting from the inside out. And speaking of keeping this engine all sealed up, now it's time to break out this sewn gun. I don't usually like using the regular black stuff. I do prefer the right stuff just because it dries so quickly. This stuff is a lot cheaper, and I had it sitting on my shelf. So there's no use in using the really expensive Right Stuff for this application. We're just gonna use the regular black RTV from Permatex. Just kidding, I won't be using this because this tube, although brand new, has been sitting on my shelf and completely dried up. So -1 points to Permatex. I guess you could say that stuff was the wrong stuff because now we have the right stuff. I guess let this be a lesson. Buy once, cry once, you know? Although I saved some money buying the cheaper tube probably years ago, I lost money because I just had to throw it in the garbage. So here we go. Make sure if you ever smear the Right Stuff and get it all over your gloves like this, don't touch anything and immediately burn this glove into ashes. We're gonna put a little bit of Astroglide on the snub here so the seal goes on all nice. Now it's time to install our nice, freshly refinished and painted hardware that we did. Aside from the snout here, which is going to be covered up by the pulley for the timing belt anyways, look at how awesome this thing turned out. Especially with the fresh bolts and hardware. And then look at that, the perfect amount of squeeze for the gasket maker. That's what you like to see. That's factory fresh right there. Next, we got to install the rear main seal in the back. And this one's going to be kind of difficult to film. So let's just go ahead and do something like this. Magic. All right. Last step of the puzzle here is our hybrid oil pan here. So let's go ahead and lay another nice bead of silicone all around here and get this sucker on. Like I said in the last video, I'm gonna try and pick out the kind of cruddy ones out of the ones that we didn't refinish, and they're gonna go in the holes that are hidden, like the stuff in here. Basically, the stuff that you're not gonna be able to see once the engine's turned back up. I may have forgotten to mention this when we were talking about the hybrid oil pans that I'm going to be offering to you guys, but not only does it protect the low-hanging bottom side of the oil pan, it also looks pretty damn good too. Like, this thing is fancy schmancy. It just looks good, and you Mark IV boys should be geeking out over stuff like this. And that is officially the bottom end all sealed up. And now it's time to flip this baby back over and move on to the top end stuff. So normally, the head is sealed to the block with a head gasket like this. It's just a multi-layer steel gasket. But because we're cheap and don't want to buy another one, and this one kind of sticks out and looks all ugly and gross, we're gonna toss this thing in the trash and just seal it up with some more of this RTV. So let's get it. Man, just setting it on there. Look at how goddamn good that looks. Let's go ahead and get this sucker bolted down for good. let's go ahead and get all of our cleaned up studs reinstalled on here before we put the valve cover on. And just like that, this engine is sealed up. And man, oh man, did this thing ever turn out.
My heart beats loud.
Well, I can confidently say this thing turned out even better than I was expecting it to. All the prep that we did 100% shows through in the final product. Obviously, we still have to install all of the trimmings, but from here on out, we are now building on a complete platform, and I'm super excited to get into the meat and potatoes on why I built this engine to begin with. But that's gonna have to wait until next time, guys. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and click subscribe and hit that bell notification so you don't miss an upload. If you want to see any of the previous build series videos on this engine, I'm going to go ahead and leave a link to the playlist for the full build series in the description below. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace!